Sometimes the past can have a hold on you. If you find yourself spiraling through memories, torn between who you are becoming and the person you've been, you're not alone. In her new book, Stripping Down, Sheila Hageman, a former New York City stripper, talks about her struggle through lost motherhood and finding her true purpose. Sheila joins me now on Connecticut Style. Well, it's nice to have you here, and thanks for sharing this story.
Sure.
It's an interesting one.
Thank you.
I guess we should start off with asking you what prompted you to kind of rediscover your past.
It was a long process, something that I think I started, it's something I've been doing since I was a child because I've always been a writer. And then when I went to start getting my MFA in creative writing, I started writing about my stripper past, and then I realized that there was a lot more to my story than just having been a stripper. And then that's when I started looking into the other layers of my story.
Okay, and I guess what did you realize? What were some of the key factors?
I think some of the key factors were that I was not as in touch with myself as I thought I was at that point in my life. I was a new mother, and I thought I had a good grip on things, and I really think I learned that probably for the rest of my life I'll be looking back at my past and seeing how it affects my present and who I will become in the future. That it's a process.
Now, you mentioned that at 12 years old you discovered your father's porn collection.
Yes.
And that might have had something to do with this?
Yes, it might have. At that point, my parents had just gotten divorced, and I found these porn magazines, and it was kind of my entry into like saying, oh, this is how women are represented. Is this how I'm supposed to be? And from that point on, I started modeling and acting, and by the time I was 18, I ended up becoming a stripper. So it was this kind of process of becoming that woman that I thought was the most desired person in the world.
So you were really young when you were stripping?
I started when I was 18, yep.
And I mean, what was that like? What was that period of your life? How long was it?
I stripped until I was 24, and it was mind-blowing actually, because like I had no idea what to expect. You know, today you have the internet, you can look and know what to expect, but back then there were no books, there was no internet. I went into this first strip club like having no idea what to expect, so it was very scary and it was very eye-opening. I mean, I learned so much so quickly about what it was to be a woman and the way women were seen by men in our society.
All right, then in your mid-20s, what made you leave the adult entertainment biz?
Well, it was a period of like 6 years that I was stripping, and I was also doing nude modeling, and you know, my boundaries kept changing, and it was getting to a point where I was really feeling uncomfortable with myself. I was still pushing through and doing the job, but I really was not happy. So I got a phone call from my mother telling me that she had breast cancer, and it was that point that I said to myself, what am I doing with my own body? How am I representing myself to the world, and can I continue to do that and still feel good about myself? And the answer was no.
No. Well, let's put up a picture on the screen because your life really did transform.
Yes.
You are now a mother, you have 3 kids, you're a yoga instructor.
Yep.
What has this transformation been like for you?
It's been wonderful. When I started getting my writing degree, that's when I was a new mom, and that's when my mom was really sick. So it was this whole process of caretaking my mother, caretaking my new child, and I'd never even like held a baby, neither had my husband, so it was this whole shock to become a new mother. And so it's been amazing. I mean, I'm finally doing everything I wanted to do, but it's been a process. Again, I think everything's a process. Exactly.
Right? How would you encourage women to express themselves now that you're able to do it better?
I think it's so important that women feel comfortable telling about their past, and I think a lot of times women are encouraged to keep the past quiet, and that this is a point in our lives where it's really important to express ourselves and not be afraid of our past. It doesn't mean that we're stuck in the past. It means we can look at the past and move forward by looking at it first.
And I'm sure you're getting that message out to your kids as well?
Definitely. I totally encourage my kids with whatever they feel like expressing themselves. It's really important to start young and to not make children feel like they can't be honest about what's going on in their lives.
And let's just talk briefly about the book. Where can we find it?
You can find it on Amazon.com. You can find it on BarnesandNoble.com. And yeah, so I hope people will read it and really enjoy it.
All right. The name of the book again is Stripping Down. Sheila Hageman, thank you so much for being here and sharing.
Thank you for having me.
All right.